Justin Hokanson with us on 3 Sports. Auburn Live at _J Hokanson on Twitter. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What's up, Hoke?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. You doing all right?
Doing all right. A little under the weather.
Well, thanks for fighting through. The flu game. Here's Hoke's flu game. This is going to be his best appearance ever.
Could Calzada do the interview then?
Yeah, could Calzada fill in for you by chance?
Yeah. The way you did your T-shirt, like, did you have a little fever there? You under weather congestion, or you got a fever? What's happening?
I just got a cold. Just got a cold.
All right. Yeah, you can play through this.
Well, you're not coming through with a lot of information here. All right.
Close to the vest. They do not like talking about this on game weeks.
Man.
That's right. All right. So on Calzada, and I know we spent a lot of time talking quarterbacks with you, Hope, but I got to ask you this because Harsin was asked after the game, did they consider going to him? And he talked about it like they considered it, which tells me he's healthy enough to play in a game. But then yesterday, when asked about his health, was a little bit vague in the answer. Where do we stand with Calzada? Is he healthy and he's just not good enough to win this job? What do you think?
That's a good question. Do I think he's healthy enough to play? Yes. Do I think he's 100% healthy? No. Why he didn't get in the game against Penn State, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what else you need to see 41-6 to get him some game reps in there and just get something on film. I don't really know what you're waiting on at that point, especially considering you discussed it. So, I mean, I would imagine they just decided, hey, quarterback's kind of just one of many issues going on right now in the second half of this Penn State game, the fourth quarter. If we put in Calzada, what's that going to do? The offensive line is letting everybody through. Do we want Calzada to get hit if he's not 100%? So I guess they just decided there was a lot of issues. Let's just let Robbie play. And to be fair, we don't have a lot of film on Robbie either playing the offense. So I can, if they wanted to make the case that we wanted to get film on Robbie Ashford kind of running everything or running as much as he could run, then I could, that's fine. I mean, there's a case to be made there. But as far as Zach Calzada, I have no idea. And it was a weird answer yesterday from Bryan Harsin. He was directly asked if he's healthy, and he didn't even answer the question. He just came back with do you know something I don't know? And then said, everybody's competing, everybody's getting opportunities. So he didn't even answer the question, which was kind of the way yesterday went with Bryan Harsin. So I don't know what's going on with Calzada in terms of why they didn't play him. I do know he's not completely healthy, but ultimately it's their decision.
With 100% being your hair's on fire with shock and 0% being eye roll, no surprise at all, where would you be on the shock meter if Calzada's a starter Saturday?
I'd be pretty surprised. Well, that's a good question. I would be pretty surprised right this second. I'd be pretty surprised right this second.
Because you're on some kind of medication or you don't think it's trending that way?
Just I would say as of yesterday, and when you're asking me now, I would say that I don't expect him to be the starter. Now, ask me again Wednesday, and that could change. They go back to practice today. They got 2 days of practice. But as of right now, I don't expect him to be the starter, but that could change over the next 2 days. But you're asking me now, so my answer is I do not expect him to start on Saturday.
Okay, so I'm not surprised Penn State won the game. I'm not surprised both quarterbacks didn't play well. What is surprising is Penn State going 245 on the ground, over 6 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns. What happened to the defense?
That was shocking. And I hear a lot of people say, and actually I listened to a little bit of y'all's show yesterday, Brown. I heard you say, after a while, you're going to get demoralized on defense. After a while, your spirit's going to be different and that kind of thing, which is true. But Penn State only ran 60-something plays. It's not like the defense was on the field all day and Penn State ran 89 plays and they just broke eventually. And it wasn't just Singleton. They had other running backs averaging 5 yards a carry. It wasn't just Singleton that had some big carries. So. And look at the red zone, too. 4 rushing touchdowns in the red zone, which I think is a really telling stat when it should be really difficult to run the ball, especially against a good front. Penn State ran the ball in 4 times from the red zone. So, really it was just bad fits. It was just bad fits and bad play up front. Guys would get out of their gap. Linebackers weren't there to fill the hole. And when that happens, man, you get gashed. Whether it was Jason Jones getting pushed to the side or Colby Wooden getting pushed to the side, and then linebackers weren't there to fill the hole. It was just a big problem. But it started with the defensive line not holding their ground, and that's supposed to be the strongest point of the team. So that was really, really shocking to see. And you can even tack on sacks. They're like 100th in the nation. Tackles for loss, they're below 100. I mean, it's not just giving up rushing yards. They're not getting pressure. They're not doing anything in terms of what you thought they would be and how aggressive you thought they would be as a defensive front. It's really surprising.
Justin Hokanson is with us on 3 Sports Auburn Live. He is on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You can follow Hoke at _J Hokanson. If you would like to follow him on Twitter, we suggest you do that. You know, Bryan Harsin made the point, too, because the touches for Tank Bigsby are in question now. 11 touches in that game. And basically, he said when asked yesterday, Hoke, look, I know everybody wants us to run the ball, but you don't see what we see with the way we're being defended. Basically, what he's saying is people are going to stack up against the run until we can beat them with the pass. Well, I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, they're going to – I know it's hard to do, but aren't they going to have to figure out a way to run it with a stacked box?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you and I aren't in the coaches' meetings, so, you know, who are we to talk about it? But, yeah, I mean, it was weird. Look, Tank Bigsby got no carries in the second quarter, none. Jarquez Hunter got 5. So they gave Bigsby all the first quarter carries, Hunter all the second quarter carries. Bigsby's your better player. And he got no carries in the second quarter. He got, he had a swing pass at the very end of the half that he almost broke, right? And then asked after the game, Harsin was like, well, it depends on the score, and we kind of got down. Well, no, not in the second quarter. It was 7-6 and 14-6. So there's zero excuse for not giving Tank Bigsby the football in the second quarter and running the football. And if you just say, well, teams stack the box, I mean, I didn't see full-on stacking the box. Here's the thing. Auburn's passing game, I saw, like, maybe there's an 8th man in the box. But you know, looking at your offense, you have to run the football. Even if it's 8 men, you have got to try to establish that. You can't just abandon it and go to your complete weak spot, which is quarterback and receiver. I mean, that's, you know, I get people stacking the box, but you can't just abandon that and just say, well, we'll just play with the weaker part of our offense and see if we can figure it out until they don't stack the box. You can't just let a defense completely dictate what you do and push you to your weak hand. You got to do something different. And so I don't know why Tank Bigsby didn't get more touches, especially that second quarter. I get the fourth quarter game was out of hand, but the second quarter to get 0 carries made no sense whatsoever. And you know, my understanding was the game plan was going to be run the football and make them feel us running the football. And you heard Austin Troxell talk about we have to run the football no matter what. And then you have some of the stats and some of the things you saw in that second quarter of that game, and they don't add up.
Justin Hokanson's with us, and first let me say that I am all for Sick Hoke, who is cashing Brown's receipts, listening to the show, keeping those receipts when Brown says something, and then on medication coming in, cashing those receipts here today. You're my favorite Hoke so far of the season. I don't go to every Auburn game, so
at least he listens to me.
I don't go to every Auburn game like you do, right? So over the years, you know, I've picked and choose when I've been in Jordan-Hare Stadium, and I don't think I went to any Auburn games in 2012. You know, I don't think I went to any. So I just haven't since 1988 when I got in this business. I've been blessed to only go to good games when the teams are good. I've never been at Jordan-Hare Stadium for that kind of performance. I've never been there for that kind of performance. It was the worst performance I've seen by an Auburn team at home that I've seen in person. I know there have been worse ones, but it was a bad performance on a big stage. I've never seen that before. I've never seen fans leaving like they left at the end of the third quarter. You've seen almost all of them in your young life. Was that a historically bad performance in a big stage for you, or do a lot pop to mind for you?
No, that was pretty bad. I mean, you know, I wasn't around in 1982. That was the last non-conference home loss that was that bad. 41-7 against Nebraska, also in Pat Dye's second year, which is kind of interesting. But that was bad. I mean, you think about 23-0 USC in 2003, but that USC team was an all-time team. And
a couple of turnovers on Auburn's side of the field. It didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, that game was actually, I mean, it was 16-0. I mean, it was still a close game, even in the late third, fourth quarter. It was there. Alabama 0-1 comes to mind, but then again, Carnell Williams gets hurt on the first drive in that game and really sent that game spiraling for Auburn. That was a pretty low one for Auburn. But man, Saturday was really bad, and I think what made it worse was just the timing. Auburn fans were just itching. You could feel it in the crowd. They were itching.
Thirsty. They were thirsty, man. Thirsty.
Yeah. And they knew how big it was for the team. They knew how big it was for Bryan Harsin. There was an added significance of that in terms of the health of the program on that game. And that added to the disappointment of, you didn't just lose a game. You lost a game that and you're feeling. I tweeted during the game, it was like a feeling of inevitability watching this game, and you're watching people leave and you're just like, yeah, this is a sea change. Like this isn't just a loss. Things are changing and shifting from this loss.
Yeah, and with that said, it seems like Harsin has lost the fan base. I seriously doubt he's lost the team. But if they were to lose to Missouri this week, there's a possibility this thing really implodes.
I thought Penn State was worst case scenario, and the way that happened was you follow that up with losing to Missouri. That's a new worst case scenario. And so I don't think he's lost the team in terms of, are you ever going to have every single player on board? Yeah, probably not. But he hasn't lost the teams in terms of the guys that matter, the captains, the direction. No, he hasn't lost the team or anything like that. Fans, yeah, that's a different question. I would say, judging from our message board and the feedback, we have a group of people that are not a fan. We have a lot of people that have defended him. There's very, very few, if any, people defending him going forward right now. So in terms of the fan base and stuff like that, yeah, he's kind of lost them, and I'm not sure at this point what he can do. And more importantly, the people that are going to make the decision anyway, we already know where they stand. So it doesn't even really matter what we think. We know where they stand. So you add a couple of losses like what you had Saturday, and you're giving these people ammunition. They don't have to make up anything anymore. They can just point to what happened on Saturday to make everything okay. But yeah, we're lost to Missouri when you're at, 9-point favorites?
7.5.
7.5 now? That'd be bad. Missouri's not a good football team. But I'm telling you, Auburn's quarterback situation, you got Finley banged up. You got Calzada, who we don't know in terms of health. And you got Robbie Ashford, who hasn't even run the whole offense. And you're coming off of just a demoralizing loss. So do I know what to expect Saturday? No, I don't.
Would it be helpful if, I'm just thinking outside the box, what if Auburn came out as a unified team in orange jerseys? Do you think they would do that?
I think that would be an all-timer. If they came out in orange jerseys on Saturday,
1 week after everybody wanted you to do it.
That would be just, I would almost just applaud the troll job if they did something like that.
Hey, but thank God they were not in the orange jerseys this week.
Oh, you burn them. Yeah, you absolutely burn them at that point.
I'm not even sure Bruce would wear orange anymore.
Yeah.
No. They're striping the stadium, though. Somebody made a joke about striped jerseys then. I guess that's what we got coming.
It was not lost on me that the stars of the game on Saturday was the basketball team, being introduced during a timeout, and Bruce was able to spend time, and he was sitting to the left of the press box, as in the stands before he went down with some recruits, and the section was turned around. They were chanting Bruce, 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 Bruce. The basketball program was the star of the day in Auburn. They walked around the tailgate area when I was out there, and they were taking pictures with everybody. It's Bruce's campus right now, isn't it?
Oh, completely. If Bruce could be AD right now, they would make him AD and basketball coach and football coach if they could do it. So yeah, it's completely his game. And it's weird. It's like we joke around about Auburn being a basketball school because of basketball ramping up. But like you're getting to the point now where, based on Bruce's success in football over the past 4 years, you're another bad decision away on the football program. You're another bad decision away from actually being a basketball school here for a little bit. Whatever happens, Harsin, new coach, whatever, it better be the right one. Not just because for Auburn, but based on the rest of the SEC. Whatever happens in the next few months is just monumentally critical to the health and the success going forward of this program, where it will be Bruce's campus till he retires.
All right, Hoke is part of On3. Auburn Live is the website he referenced earlier. You can go sign up there and enjoy all the coverage there of the Auburn football season and basketball season soon. @_Jay Hokanson on Twitter. Hoke, thank you for the time, man. Hope you get to feeling better.
All right. See ya. Thanks.
All right, Hoke with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.